Success of President Delcy Rodriguez depends on her outreach to moderates. Extremists in the opposition and extremists in the government, they both wish to remove her, as they prefer convicted criminals such as Maduro or Machado. Delcy Rodriguez needs to promote economic alternatives outside comfort zones within communes and other socialist unconstitutional structures. Mariana Gonzalez de Tudares has become a mediatic personality just as Lilian Tintori. They were both constantly pushing for the particular cases of their husbands and letting as a second priority liberty of common prisoners. Nicolas Maduro Guerra is following same path and complaining that he wants to embrace his father, just as Lilian Tintori not too long ago publicized that he wanted to make love with her husband, although she got pregnant while he was in jail anyway. This emphasis in political prisoners is distracting Venezuelans from pursuing economic recovery. Most Venezuelans are not involved in partisan politics and have no relationship with non-governmental organizations, lawyers, and career politicians who are pushing political prisoner narratives. Volker Turk from Human Rights Commission of the United Nations will meet with President Delcy Rodriguez, and they will both achieve an understanding on how to verify excarceration figures. The problem is that Venezuelan opposition has no agenda beyond repeating that their violent protests in recent years induced activists to get in jail. The Board of Peace has been fascinating to watch. Jared Kushner presented PowerPoint slides summarizing how Gaza was a war chaos and it will be soon become a real estate wonderland. Most Middle Eastern countries are on board. Reconstruction will be fantastic, and Board of Peace is urged to enter Venezuela to devise similar reconstruction, oil industry, and infrastructure projects. Both Venezuela and Gaza have traditionally been close political allies, and we now must become economic enthusiasts of Donald Trump's unconventional, fast-track peace and prosperity making efforts. Again, Venezuela has no time to continue engaging on partisan politicking. Instead of complaining on routine operational details, opposition politicians should engage in facilitating re-entrance into Venezuela of Halliburton, ExxonMobil, Baker Hughes, ConocoPhillips, Valero, Marathon, Shell, and remaining energy companies. Opposition politicians were seen on the National Assembly requesting not to receive foreign investment in petroleum industry. Even Pablo Perez reverted to describing previous shortcomings of the petroleum industry and other past tense narratives. ExxonMobil, by the way, did the same and complained about previous uninvestable conditions of Venezuela. As Secretary of Energy has clearly stated, we are in the business of devising a future. Politicians and companies that concentrate on repeating past failures will be regarded as irrelevant, and Venezuela will just move on without them. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright will soon come into Caracas and other parts of Venezuela, as he would like to check firsthand what is the condition of various brownfield and greenfield oil projects. OFAC licenses should be readily available for any United States company willing to invest in Venezuela. National Assembly is already preparing second discussion of hydrocarbon law reform, which is making attractive investment conditions for international companies within Venezuela. Russia sold Alaska to the United States in the 19th century for a price equivalent, adjusted for inflation, to today's hundreds of millions of dollars. Therefore, Vladimir Putin is suggesting United States to pay Denmark $700 million for Greenland sovereignty. National security of the Western Hemisphere requires United States purchase of Greenland, as Denmark, until recently, used to impose sterilization projects to Inuits as genocide, preventing population growth of the American island of Greenland. Laura Dogan has already been summoned as chief of mission in Caracas Embassy of the United States. She has previously complained about Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez. Laura Dogan, so far, has not updated any comments. It has been so interesting to see formerly socialist members of Congress root for capitalism in Venezuela's oil industry, while Venezuela's opposition is increasingly siding against the United States. Venezuelan opposition asked for Donald Trump to topple Nicolas Maduro, and now that the wish became true, they are opposing Donald Trump's plans for reindustrializing the country. Venezuela's opposition need to constantly complain and constantly get in between any development projects. They made Chavez miserable, they made Maduro miserable, they are trying to make Delcy Rodriguez miserable, and Venezuelan opposition is also now making Trump miserable. Fortunately, Donald Trump continues enjoying a perfect, courteous relationship with constitutional acting president Delcy Rodriguez. And it shall be so until the year 2030, when presidential elections are expected to be summoned. Opposition has 5 extra years to regroup. USS George H. Bush has been positioned next to Cuba, and it will not allow any shipments of petroleum from Venezuela, and maybe from Mexico as well. President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico is trying to subsidize Cuba after Venezuela is being prevented of doing so. Regime change in Cuba is expected to be successfully completed During this year 2026, the Central Intelligence Agency is infiltrating the current Cuban government, and they will find an equivalent of Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez within high levels of the Cuban government. So Cuba will eventually enjoy an interim president that will act as a protectorate agent for the United States. Central University of Venezuela students have been protesting for a commemoration of deposition of former dictator Marcos Pérez Jiménez as 23rd of January of 1958 marked the departure of a capitalistic dictatorship into a socialist democracy that has continued up to the present. Socialism in Venezuela was installed in 1958, and it is now in 2026 that Venezuela will be able to get rid of socialism and propose capitalistic advantages to international companies so that we can make Venezuela great again. Opposition exiles such as Pedro Burelli and Ricardo Hausmann are always rooting for chaos in Venezuela. They are pretending to impose regime change beyond Delcy Rodriguez's term. They are pushing a narrative that United States companies will not come into Venezuela because capitalistic companies are not interested in extracting oil. According to Burelli and Hausmann, petroleum companies are interested in promoting war and democracy until a political system acceptable for Mr. Burelli and Hausmann is imposed by force. Donald Trump, of course, is not sold to this idea. He has quickly dealt with former President Maduro. He is already making arrangements with new Delcy Rodriguez government. However, he should invite Venezuela to the board of peace. But Venezuela would need to find $1 billion for such exclusive club of peace-loving countries. CSIS, Center of Strategic Investment Studies, is finally realizing that the United States is behind the rare earth mining and processing race. Venezuela is available to provide rare earth minerals to the United States, as rare earth mining laws will probably be reformed just as the hydrocarbon law. However, CSIS should not impose legacy fascism opposition celebrities for a transition in Venezuela, as transition is not contemplated in Venezuela's constitution, and such democratic requirements through threats of war could derail gracious current relationship improving between United States and Venezuela. United States and Venezuela should concentrate on drilling and leave partisan politics for constitutionally appointed years of elections such as 2030. Foreign Minister of Venezuela, Ivan Gil, continues repeating an African emphasis agenda of foreign relations of Venezuela. African countries are busy engaging in African unity, and of course they develop some relationship with faraway countries such as Venezuela, However, when you don't have extensive economic relationship, there is not much you can do with a diplomatic relationship unless all you want to do is to appoint ambassadors to live in a country and then spend the whole day entertaining yourself and doing nothing. Venezuela's relationships with Latin American countries remain terribly strained, and Foreign Minister of Venezuela should not complain to other presidents and other foreign ministers and promoting hatred between Latin American countries. President Delcy Rodriguez has asked for tolerance and mutual understanding between Venezuelans. Therefore, Foreign Minister should foster international understanding between various Latin American countries rather than current ideological confrontation. Venezuela is enjoying relative peace. Hectic media occurrences are diminishing after roadmap of development through hydrocarbon law reform is taking place. Once the National Assembly approves hydrocarbon law reform, we will be able to see which international companies are eager to move in. Venezuelan individuals and business should take advantage of the next few days of waiting to plan both short-term and long-term objectives. These are strange times because we are currently in dire, horrible economical condition. We still have inflation, we still have unemployment, we still have an underinvested country. However, our expectations are sky high. Lots of international business are going to arrive along with Donald Trump's design. We should make a comparison of reconstruction of Gaza and reconstruction of Venezuela, and they both should come in tandem. It will be very interesting to achieve regime change in Cuba so that restoration of Cuba may also be quickly achieved. Career politicians around the world that are opposing Donald Trump usually make a living by complaining about their own failure to propose economic growth. United Nations has proven to be irrelevant, and Board of Peace shall in the next years to come decide how to solve international problems. And countries will be divided between those countries that comply with the Board of Peace against countries that are not interested in fostering Board of Peace. European countries, as usual, become increasingly irrelevant as they despise Board of Peace. Venezuela's National Assembly started discussing Paperwork Reduction Act, which will be crucial for Venezuelans to form new businesses that could partner with major international companies set to arrive. The month of January in general has been an unusual occasion of a series of successful long-term decisions. During the short term, we are concentrating in devising how long-term will be. We are anxious to produce results. We understand that a lag will occur between planning and execution, and we must also prepare to confront regime change promoters who want to impose elections through a second wave of military United States intervention in Venezuela. Socialist supporters of Hugo Chavez, Nicolas Maduro, and Delcy Rodriguez used to be anti-imperialistic. However, now they are complying with United States, while Venezuelan opposition is unhappy with Donald Trump because he did not impose exiled fascist opposition into Venezuelan power. So the best allies of the United States in Venezuela right now are the current Delcy Rodriguez government. Therefore, traditional Venezuelan opposition will have no following from United States authorities. They have no representation in Venezuelan political powers. Therefore, traditional Venezuelan opposition is expected to extinguish. President of National Assembly Jorge Rodriguez has initiated a superb dialogue of conflicting political factions in Venezuela beyond the National Assembly, and those who participate will make agreements with the governments, and those who choose to abstain will remain as irrelevant as they have historically chosen to be. Venezuela's reconciliation is underway. There are people who do not want to reconcile and will be left behind as international companies seeking to improve Venezuelan petroleum and mining extraction industry will prefer dealing with individuals interested in behaving in peace.